welcome. I'm Nara Berry, the Happiness Coach, and I'm your host of Happy and Healthy, where we explore and discover all the many ways of keeping you feeling happy and healthy. And remember to stay tuned to the end to watch my Good to Know segment, where I've always got something good to share with you. So today, I want you to welcome my guest today. Her name is Elizabeth Petty, and she's a raw food expert. And we're going to learn all about eating healthy through raw food. So please welcome my guest, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Nara. It's such a pleasure. I really appreciate it so much.
Oh, it's wonderful having you here. And so I know that you actually own a restaurant, a raw food restaurant called Elizabeth's Gone Raw, right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration for you to be involved with this?
So I was diagnosed with breast cancer 9 years ago, at which point I chose a real traditional, conventional treatment routine. And after my first treatment, I came across this remarkable woman by the name of Chris Carr, who wrote Crazy Sexy Cancer. Really wonderful woman.
Heard of that,
yeah. She's really, really remarkable. Cancer survivor as well. And she has healed herself naturally and doing quite well, I think 14, 15 years later. At any rate, I was so inspired by Chris, I changed my diet. So I took meat and dairy, sugar, caffeine, alcohol, gluten. I took everything out of my diet and started drinking wheatgrass juice and green juice. And despite all of the chemo treatments, I had about 18, I started to feel well. And I've been in the food industry for almost 30 years. I bought this company, I bought the catering company of Washington, almost 29 years ago. And so
so you transformed it.
Well, and I still cater. So I have the restaurant. It's open only one night a week. We'll be open on Saturday nights this fall. But it just really gave me an opportunity to give back. So
that's amazing. That's so amazing that that you just changed everything, and you've actually even brought it to the public to be able to be healthy too. So what's the whole idea of raw food? Like I know I've heard it called rawism, and the whole raw food diet. What does that mean?
Right. So the premise is it's really all about enzymes. Okay?
Enzymes.
It's really about enzymes. So you want enzyme-rich food or living food. So living food is really enzyme-rich, and the belief is that, and actually it is true, that when you take food above 115 degrees, you start to lose some of the value of the food and the enzymes. So the enzymes actually act as catalysts in your blood. So what they do is they separate the red and the white blood cells, and you want to keep your blood oxygenated to prevent disease. Cancer, for example, has a really difficult time growing in an oxygenated environment. It certainly can, but it makes it more difficult. So it's not just diet. I mean, it's really mind, body, spirit. So lots of exercise and laughter, as you well know. So many ways to heal yourself. But food is something that
it's a major component.
It's a major component. It's really, really a major component. So all those phytonutrients and keeping an alkaline diet, one that's alkaline and less acidic, has so many benefits. So.
And so tell me, like, what is a raw food that that you would include in a raw food diet? Like,
personally, well, how would I eat?
So
I really start with sprouts. Okay, so that's really the base of my plate. If I'm going to eat a meal and I'm at home, obviously, any sprouts.
Any sprout.
There's
such a variety now. There's broccoli sprouts.
Oh, there's so many, so many sprouts. And the sunflower is sort of she's the goddess of all the sprouts. So the sunflower sprout has the most protein. 3 ounces of sunflower sprouts is equivalent to 3 ounces in protein, equivalent to 3 ounces of chicken.
Those are really? Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
so it's very tasty.
And I do believe that. I think in the American diet we eat too much protein, and we don't need to eat that much. It puts so much stress on your kidneys.
There's such a push for it, especially for people that are exercising. Everything is like protein, protein, protein.
Right,
so
right. Well,
it's interesting that you say that.
Yeah. Well, there's so many bodybuilders and athletes that are vegan, that are eating plant-based and are able to build muscle, and really extraordinary people.
Right.
But
they use the example of like the dinosaurs that were not meat eaters.
And gorillas.
And they ate plants. And they were big
that's
and
exactly
strong.
right.
Yeah.
But I do always start with the sprouts at any rate, and then fat. You need fat for your brain, and so the good fats. coconut oil, not too much, but a little coconut oil. Avocado is so good for you. Avocado is amazing. Also, lot of protein in avocado. Lentils, chickpeas, broccoli, spinach. All just making a beautiful salad.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
which we're going to do in the second half of the show.
Yes, I will show you that.
We're going to create that. Is it the red oak salad?
It's a smoked red oak
salad.
So
I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
So as far as that's some of the things that we can eat that is included in a raw food type of eating. So what would not be included? Like I was thinking, like milk and cheese and all that. Like that to me is raw, but is it not raw?
Right. So no dairy.
No dairy at all.
Okay, so no dairy. So no milk. No, unless it's a nut milk.
How about if it's like unpasteurized?
No.
Is it a pasteurization process that?
No, no milk.
No milk
Yeah,
at
no
all.
eggs.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So no dairy. But of course, wonderful nut cheeses. You can really, and coconut. You can make cheese out of coconut.
I'm crazy about cashew cheese.
Yeah.
I've had that either in savory dishes and also in sweet dishes,
Sure.
and I just think I'm like bananas over it.
Sure. You can make
I just have cashews over it.
Yeah, cashews over it.
Yeah, because it really has that same consistency, and you can flavor it however you want.
That's right.
Is
Using a probiotic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that hard to make?
It's not hard to make. No,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
So for the
and I'll
let's
talk
say for
about
the,
that when I make the salad.
Yeah.
I'll explain how the cheese is made.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So no dairy and
Right. No
what
dairy.
else?
Obviously, no meat, no fish.
Yeah.
No gluten.
Okay.
No processed sugar. Now I will say at Elizabeth's Gone Raw we have started cooking a few of the ingredients, so it's not 100% raw vegan. It's 100% vegan, still no gluten.
Okay.
And I was raw vegan for about 2 years after I was diagnosed with cancer, and now I do eat some cooked foods, and it's really made my life more. It's more comfortable. It's a little less stressful having to think about what you're going to eat all the time.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh that sometimes.
You have to really plan.
If there's too much stress around what you're putting in your body, your cortisol levels aren't healthy either. So at some point you have to decide,
right.
What choice you're going to make, and it's so personal.
Well, that's important, like what you just said, because a lot of times people do take what they're doing to an extreme. That's right. And let's say for one day they're just eating meat and potatoes and subs, some kind of steak and cheese subs, and then the next day they decide, okay, this is it. I'm just going to do all raw vegan, and
Right.
and it makes it really hard for them to change so fast. But also, it's you don't have to do all or nothing.
No, that's right, and it's stressful in your body.
Yeah.
And that's another premise behind the raw vegan diet, is that you really are taking stress off your digestive system. So even combinations of foods, not eating fruits and nuts together, because you digest them at a different rate now in the restaurant, because it is fun.
That.
Yeah. So for example, if you're going to eat a grapefruit, you digest very, very quickly, for example. So you don't want to eat a grapefruit with something else. You want to eat that grapefruit on its own. And you read about these cultures that are with these centenarians that live forever and ever, and so much of it is from eating one type of food at a time. It might be beans and rice, for example.
Oh,
and so
true.
they're taking that stress off of their digestive system and allowing their white blood cells to actually act as the immune system as we're designed to do. So the white blood cells can then fight any kind of free radicals or aberrant cells in your body and prevent those red blood cells from sort of coagulating and developing tumors.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other benefits, like the health benefits of eating raw foods?
Oh, well, clarity. Clarity of mind. Of course, it lowers your cholesterol level. The cardiovascular benefits are tremendous. And the energy and longevity. There's studies now showing that plant-based diets will increase your lifespan. And then of course the environment and the ethical treatment of animals. So there's so many. It's a win-win-win. It really is. And I think that to become plant-based, I think it's unrealistic to expect our society to ever become completely plant-based. And people are going to continue to eat meat and fish, which I certainly respect, because I respect other people's choices. However, my suggestion really to meat eaters or pescatarians is just be mindful of the meat that you're eating, and maybe don't eat so much. Maybe you don't have to eat it 7 days a week. Maybe you eat 5 days a week, or don't buy factory farm meat. Buy a grass-fed from a grass-fed source, and you don't have to eat 8 ounces of meat. You can eat 4 ounces, and so really focus on the vegetables on your plate, and your meat can be the side. So there's all kinds of ways to really make a difference, I think, not only in your health, but in the environment.
And even like what we have here, this is something that you've made, and it's called coconut bacon.
It is. That's coconut bacon.
So like for people that are really heavy-duty meat eaters, they might want to just try some of this, like if they want to get that bacon taste.
Right, so that gives you that umami that you can't always get in plant-based. You can get it from mushrooms. You get that umami flavor. And this bacon is actually young Thai coconut that's been cold smoked with maple syrup and tamari and pickling spices. So it just adds another dimension and complexity to your food.
It's delicious.
Flavor. Thank you so much.
It's really delicious. It's very chewy. I got that in my mouth. So it's really very, very good.
Thank you.
So how does your family, do they eat raw food too?
No, they don't. No, but they're very they're certainly educated about it. And again, I respect their choices.
Yeah.
Like
everyone, everybody's on their own journey, right?
That's right. That is exactly right.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to demo that salad. It sounds amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing that cashew cream cheese, especially.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to take a short break. I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned for our little raw food cooking demo with Elizabeth Petty.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri, was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy. And we're going to continue speaking with our raw food expert, Elizabeth Petty. So Elizabeth, I thought it'd be really great for you to demonstrate maybe one of the dishes that people could make. And so, what dish are we going to demonstrate today?
So this is the our smoked red oak salad. I'm going to walk you through the ingredients first before I plate it, just to give you, a little information about, why we use certain ingredients. But so this red oak has actually been, and by the way, everything is organic, which is of utmost importance to me. But at any rate, the red oak has been smoked overnight with the smoked gun. So we use this gun. We put the red oak into a pan, a deep pan, and then use a hickory smoke that is infused into the lettuce. The pan is then covered and then refrigerated overnight.
So it's like smoked food, any smoked food that gives it that smoky flavor.
Right, so it's a slightly different process than using a smoker. So anyway, here's our lettuce. We have here a fennel cream. The cream is prepared with fennel, fresh fennel, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, and almond milk. Now we do make our almond milk in-house, and it's not the store-bought, which is also very important.
I love fennel, so that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so fennel sprouts here. One of the reasons for eating sprouts are so important because they're just loaded with, they're enzyme rich and a lot of phytonutrients, and so they're a powerhouse of protein. That's the other thing. So we're going to get, and the other thing that's really lovely about sprouts is you get a real subtle flavor rather than this, burst of fennel that you would in the equivalent.
So these have to be rinsed first, right? Or do they?
Yes, they do. Pea shoots, same principle. We're eating something in its nascent stage. Black mission
What does nascent stage mean?
So nascent stage is in the beginning of growth. So that's when foods and vegetables are their most powerful. So, and beneficial in regard to health. Blood orange, We have a zebra lemon here.
Interesting.
Yeah, salvia flower.
Wow.
Flowers are edible. There are many, many edible flowers, provided they're organic.
I didn't know those were edible.
Yeah,
I have them
absolutely.
growing in my garden.
Wow. And garlic chips. So the garlic, it's elephant garlic. That's actually been, this has been cured for about a month. So a little bit of chili oil we're going to use on the plate, and a cashew creme. This cashew creme is cashew nuts that have been soaked in ionized water. So we soak all of our nuts in water to release the enzyme inhibitors. Makes it much easier to digest.
So when you're making how long would you soak them for?
It depends on the nut. So the cashews, these have probably been soaked overnight.
Okay.
And then we would add a probiotic.
Okay.
Nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast has so many beneficial qualities. Now, nutritional yeast is not raw, but raw vegans do eat it for the B complex vitamins, and then vitamin B12, which is so essential in a vegan diet because it's so difficult to get. So
that is important.
Yeah, so that's really, really important.
So I love cashew cream, but I've never actually I've known how to actually make it. So
it's actually not difficult. It takes a while. So this cheese, depending on the type of cheeses that we make, they're aged for a different amount of time. And so you can take a base, a nut, say for example the cashew cheese, and then you can, after you've added the probiotic and the nutritional yeast and maybe celery, you can add truffle to it, for example. You could add paprika.
Different flavors.
Yeah. And so now suddenly you have also algae. We'll add agar-agar or a blue-green algae that makes it look like blue cheese. So, and maybe the nut will be macadamia rather than cashews. So
interesting.
So that's really quite fun. So what I'm going to go ahead and plate.
Okay.
Now remember, so when you're plating, it's really art. So there's no right or wrong way to plate. You just want to do something that you think is visually appealing. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the phenol cream on the plate, and then
I like the way you just spritzed it on,
like
very artistic.
Right, because you want food to be appealing. That's, that's very, very important visually.
I've read that we eat is it 90% with our eyes first, before we even eat it, that we're already sensing it the way it looks, if it'll be delicious or not.
So blood orange, I'm going to add a little bit of citrus here, then I'm going to use, now this is the watermelon radish that I mentioned before, this radish is actually a French black radish. So I'm going to try to pull.
They're beautiful. They look like flowers.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's from the earth, of course.
The watermelon radish, is it the watermelon color on the outside also? Because I see it's
no, it's green.
It's green on the outside.
It's actually green. It's green on the outside, like a watermelon, and then when you cut into it, and then this is the black radish, of course, which is French.
And are these ingredients available at our local stores?
Most of them are
like the natural food
stores. Well, a lot
stores,
of them
maybe?
are. Yeah, I mean, something like the sprouts aren't. I mean, that's harder to get. I actually have sourced these from a woman-owned business, real small company called Little Wild Things, and they sprout right in DC, and so it's really lovely indoors.
Interesting.
I'm going to take this fig and then squirt the cream, the cashew creme, into the fig.
So you've hollowed it out.
Yes, it's been hollowed out, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of height to the plate.
Beautiful.
So see, now what we're doing is we're just, we're kind of designing as we go along.
Yeah.
And you could change this if you like. Little bit of zebra lemon. So this is a beautiful, beautiful citrus. Now it is fairly potent, so we don't want too much. We don't want too much acidity on the plate.
Is the juice that's in there, is it the actual juice on the lemon, or has something been added to it?
That is correct. It is, and thank you for reminding me, because we're going to take a little bit of this lemon water or lemon juice, and we're going to put just a touch of it over the lettuce. Okay, so we're going to add a little acidity to it, and then we're going to take this. This is the finger lime. This is a smoked finger lime oil. Mm-hmm. That we will want to make sure we get the finger lime. Can you see that?
Yeah.
They're just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we're going to put a little bit of the.
So I noticed that there's a lot of beautiful ingredients. However, when you want to eat, to do each food item here takes a little bit of prep time, right?
It does. It does. That's the challenge with raw. So, when if you wanted to make a salad like this, for example, you'd have to start far in advance to make your cheese.
Yeah.
So, so you can think of how can I modify this dish? I want to make this dish tonight. So obviously, and you're not going to smoke your lettuce. You don't have time to smoke your lettuce, but you can use all these other components. Your fennel cream you can make.
Yeah.
That takes 5 minutes to make. That's really, really easy to make. You could substitute, for example, the cashew for maybe avocado. And these are flavors that you just play around with, and everyone has a different palate and what they like and what they don't like. So let me finish the plating, and then I want you to taste this. So I want to make sure we put some of the fennel sprouts on the plate.
Just the color itself is so vibrant that it looks like it's just bursting with vitamins.
Right. And then I'm going to put the salvia over next to the lettuce. Again, just a little hint
you're
of
creating
color.
like a masterpiece here, like a portrait.
That's very generous, I'm afraid. And then we're going to take the black lava salt. So table salt and sea salt are very different. And not to confuse the two, because there's so many health benefits to this salt. I'm going to put it on the citrus only, okay, not on the salad. So put a little bit of that salt there.
So that's called black lava salt. So
black lava
it comes
salt,
from
volcanic. Yeah. This is the elephant garlic that's been pickled for about a month. It's really, really delicious. Now it is fried. Not exactly the best thing for you, except that I will tell you, alliums in general are really one of the best things you can put in your body. So alliums include garlic and shallots and spring onions and red onion, anything in the
onion
family.
And
yes,
garlic,
really, 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 really good for you. So voila. We left out one thing. What do you think, Nira? Where should we put this salad? So you can see it's really just, using your...
That's beautiful.
Now, is this something you would like to try?
Sure, sure. And did you put the cashew cream on it already?
The cashew cream is inside the fig.
Right.
Yeah, it's inside the fig.
Oh, that's right.
You have a knife and fork
there,
and I'd love
to try a little bit. Yeah.
This is,
yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you, what is your favorite raw food dish?
Oh, well, I have to tell you, I've had the good fortune of working...
delicious.
Yeah. So I've had the good fortune of working with Chef Francisco Hernandez for so many years now. And there was a time when our menu from the restaurant was changing every single week. So you can imagine 7 courses, 50 times 52. So there's just so many dishes. I love the nut cheeses. I like a lot of the creams. There's parts of dishes that I like. The soups, he makes a cucumber alfalfa soup that is just to die for, with almond milk. There's just so many different dishes.
Oh, sounds amazing.
I can't make something like this at home for dinner. I could, but I don't. So I'm more inclined to always start with sprouts. And I start with sprouts for the protein. And I love the flavor of sprouts, and I've grown to love them, any sprout and every sprout. Which, by the way, are very inexpensive to grow. So, and I can talk, if you're interested in knowing how to make that, I can actually show you, tell you how
we'll
you
have to do a whole nother show about
right,
that.
Sprouting.
Yeah,
I could do a little sprouting show for you.
So this is all really wonderful, because this is all this is like raw, and it's so healthy for you, as you've explained. And I'm just very excited to maybe even venture into that world a little bit. Maybe try making my own cashew cream.
Yes,
so if somebody wanted more information, can you give us your website so they can find out?
Yes, of course. It's elizabethsgoneraw.com.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah. And if you were going to just be running out the door and you wanted to grab something really fast, what raw food item would you grab?
An avocado.
Oh.
I would eat an avocado. And often before I go out in the evening, if I'm going out to dinner or going to a friend's house, I'll make a little salad of sprouts and avocado, just because I don't know what to expect. When I go somewhere, so I want to make sure.
Oh, that's a really good tip. Yeah. So thank you so much. It's really been my pleasure to have you on, and just to show us this wonderful, beautiful dish, and what the potential is for us to use this idea of eating raw food for our health and wellness.
Well,
so thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you.
And I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy. And stay tuned for my Good to Know segment. We'll be right back.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. and another and another and another and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Nira Berry, happiness coach and your host of Happy and Healthy. And now it's time for What's Good to Know. And as part of my series of success at life and at work, I'm going to talk about healthy eating. And I know that many of us want to eat healthy. We know, we've heard all the research, and it helps us in preventing disease and managing disease, as well as even affecting our moods. And so often we try to get in on a healthy diet, but sometimes we just end up sabotaging ourselves, and we end up just throwing out any ideas about eating healthy, and it gets frustrating. And I get that. I get that 1 minute we're in control and the next minute we're out of control. We're like at a holiday dinner, or we're by ice cream shop, or anything. And sometimes we might get upset with ourselves, but we don't have to. Like, just set yourself up for success with it. Just first of all, have a plan and really have what the process is going to be. Just plan ahead of time what you're going to do, when you're going to eat it, where you're going to get it. And give yourself credit for even trying to be healthy. Many times we're very down on ourselves. So give yourself the credit and acknowledge what you're doing is going to take a little bit of time, because really what you're doing is creating a new habit. And no one is perfect. Just remember that. So if you fall down and don't have a great eating day, don't worry about it, because the next day is a new day. Don't set the bar so high. Remember that everything is baby steps. So too much at once, like if you're like a couch potato and you do nothing all day, and then suddenly you want to run a marathon and only eat something very, very healthy, it's going to be a bit extreme. And so really give yourself time to really slowly getting into a new habit, and be easy on yourself. And one of the things that I really recommend is positive self-talk. Remember, if you were asking somebody for advice, they'll say oh, don't worry, just, tomorrow's a new day. Give yourself, credit for doing it. So do the same for yourself. And so I really look forward to hearing what you think. And you can always reach me, Nira, the happiness coach, at happyandhealthy@mmctv.org. You've been watching Happy and Healthy. I'm Nira Berry, your host, and I hope you have a happy day.